an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised ordinances of the city of New Brunswick. This is related to parking zones for handicapped persons. 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised ordinances of the city of New Brunswick. This is related to site plan review. Number 4, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised ordinances of the city of New Brunswick. This is for zoning. Number 5, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick. This is related to cannabis licensing and regulation. And number 6, an ordinance authorizing and ratifying the legislation of certain abounded properties. Then we have resolutions 1 to 43, except 41. Resolution number 1, approve agenda amendments. Number 2, approve payroll. 3, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale certificates. Number 4, approve renewal of liquor license for the division room. Is inactive. 5, approve authorize the police department to participate in the receipt of funds from the city of Pernambuco. This is for the fiscal year 2023 JAC program. 6, approve resolutions in Revolution, New Jersey. 7, approve resolution authorizing the sale of surplus personal property. 8, approve a water contract with 72 Hours LLC doing business as National Auto Fleet Group. 9, approve a water contract with SHI International Corporation. 10, approve amendment of resolution 022324 with Associate Humane Societies. 11, approve authorization to participate with the Borough of Highland Park. This is for the fireworks display on Wednesday, July 3rd. Number 12, approve amendment of resolution 112345 with Holder London Momentum that's LLP. 13, approve amendment of resolution 022352 with Nera Architects LLC. 14, approve of contract with On-Site Street Service Inc. 15, approve of contract with Absolute Fire Protection Company. 16, approve of contract with Clean Air Company. 17, approve of contract with Norcia Corporation and with Earthbreak Equipment doing business as Apple. 18, approve of contract with 72 Hours LLC doing business as National Auto Fleet Group. 19, authorization to accept grant from the County of Middlesex. This is in relation to program. 20, a resolution to authorize the transfer of the Brunswick City properties to the Brunswick Board of Education. 21, approve amendment of resolution 052-353 regarding state labs. 22, approve amendment of resolution 052-352 regarding state laboratories. 23, approve amendment of resolution 012436 with South Electric. 24, amendment to bank depositories and cash management plan for calendar year 2024. 25, advise and consent to newly appointed municipal court judge of the city of New Brunswick, Haley Wong Taylor. 26, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance requested by J.R. Brunswick. 27, approve amendment of resolution 171 requested by RML Construction Inc. 28, use of site performance guarantee of $19,700 and $1,000 to Francisco Bouvier. 29, approve authorization to advertise for CDBG sidewalk project. Number 30, approve amendment of resolution 122-362 requested by Aerial Company. 31, authorize tax collector to transfer over payments in several tax and utility accounts. 32, resolution authorizing amendments to the city of New Brunswick equity handbook. 33, approve amendment of resolution 022316 with St. Louis Municipal System doing business as First Line Corporation. 34, approve resolution to refer the Ferry Development Plan to the Planning Board for review and report. 35, approve request for use of city property requested of 176 pairs. 36, approve request for use of city property requested by Sigma Delta Town. 37, approve request for use of city property and use of sidewalk requested by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. 38, approve request for use of city property and use of city sidewalk requested by Livingston Elementary School. 39, approve request for street closings requested by workers' office providing student assistance. 40, approve request for use of city property and use of city sidewalk requested by Brunswick Elementary School. 41, was school at the request of the city administrator. 42, authorize application and execution of grant agreement with New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Leaders Program. And 43, authorize application and execution of grant agreement with New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Leaders Program. This is in reference to Alex E. Baker, Park. Then we have items for discussion by the council, public comment, and dates to be remembered. Next city council agenda review session will be Wednesday, February 21st at 5:30, immediately followed by the city council meeting. At this time, the meeting is called to order.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Here.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming is absent. Councilmember Gaskins.
Here.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Here.
Council President Escobar.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Act has been complied with and satisfied. That is, that the annual notice which carries sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of Brunswick has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board in City Hall, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of Brunswick, namely the News Review.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And tonight, I would ask you to take this moment of silence to remember those that we lost last week, and both of them contributed to our city tremendously. The first one is Mr. Robert Mason. Robert worked for Elijah's Promise for many years, and while he was working at Elijah's Promise, he dedicated his work to outreaching and helping individuals with chemical dependency to heal through recovery. His love and passion for his work impacted many lives in our city. And the next person is Jeffrey Vega. Jeffrey was a friend, colleague, mentor to many. He worked at the Brunswick Tomorrow for 22 years, of which 14 he served as a president. He was an exceptional leader, a visionary, who had the ability to bring people together to work towards a brighter New Brunswick for our residents, students, and businesses. During his tenure at APT, Jeffrey was a catalyst of change in our city, and his contribution in addressing social, health, and economic issues in our city led to the formation of many student and community-based programs like the Esperanza Neighborhood Project and the Bobadilla Soccer Program. It was an honor to have known him. May Robert and Jeffrey rest in power. Thank you.
Move the minutes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. At this time, Madam Clerk, has the correspondence be directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Council President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office has been forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
At this time, I'm going to call for nominations for Council Vice President for 2023-2024.
I'd like to nominate Councilman John Anderson for Vice President of the City Council.
Second. I'm sorry, can you give me a second?
You better just say it.
Thank you. Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. You want to say a few words, Councilman Anderson? Oh, swear him in. Yes.
I'll administer the oath.
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
and that I will bear
true faith
true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
Council Vice President
Council Vice President
of the City of New Brunswick
of the City of New Brunswick
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you to my fellow council members. I will try and do the best of my ability, always remembering to do the best, one for my mother and one for Mrs. Egan. Thank you.
Thank you. I also take this opportunity to welcome our newest council member, Mr. Ferguson, who just sworn in a few minutes ago. So would you like to say a few words?
Just really happy to join and looking forward to serving, and thank you for the support, and really looking forward to learning a lot. So let's go.
Welcome. I'm going to move the agenda a little bit. For now, we're going to go into the ordinance that we have before us in second reading. We have an ordinance 12402. It's an ordinance to amend the management salary ordinance. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or any comments regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, we are now going to open the floor for open public hearing on this ordinance only. If you have any questions, please come up. You have up to 5 minutes for your questions.
Good evening, council members. Charlie Bradville, New Brunswick today. Wanted to ask about a couple of positions I see in the ordinance. First, of course, being the police chief, listed at range number 98. Range number 98 has a minimum salary of $90,000 and a maximum of $223,000. Of course, we only have one police chief. Can somebody tell me, if approved, what would the police chief's salary be?
Mr. Fuller?
Council President, I don't have the exact salary. This is just an ordinance to clean up our annually for all the positions in any of their ranges.
So we don't know what the police chief's salary will
He
be.
didn't say he doesn't know. He doesn't have that information right here at this moment.
That is correct. Will it be changing based upon this ordinance, or will it remain the same?
So the title of police chief is based on a differential within all the ranks of the police department. Now that we have a police chief, the management ordinance is adjusted for that salary. Not having one before, we need to add it.
Can anyone tell me what the current salary is for the police chief?
It's around that top number, but I can get the exact number of Mr. Brown. I'll let you know. I'm not prepared to give it.
Thank you.
If it's changing, it would be good information for the public and the council to have before you vote on it. I also notice public information officer, and there's two of them. There's a public information officer and a public information officer part-time. Public information officer is under 93. Salary range 93 starts at $42,000, goes up to $99,000. And then we have the part-time is listed as a special one. Can somebody clarify for me? Special one, is that where it says SO1? Is that the same thing?
Council President, that's correct.
Okay, so I see that one is a minimum $3,500 salary, maximum $68,000 salary, big difference there. We have two public information officers. One is in the room now, Mr. Barron, the other one is Mr. Miller. And can somebody tell me which one is part-time and which one is not part-time?
Mr. Barron is part-time and Mr. Miller is full.
Okay. And will their salaries be changing? I see, the reason I ask is you have certain titles in bold, so I see the part-time one is in bold. Does this mean Mr. Barron will be getting a raise if approved?
So I understand Mr. Crabtre's question, but I think it's important to know the context that the salary ordinance is not directly reflective of the employees who are getting paid. It's the range in which that position can be paid to, and this governing body has the opportunity through this process to be aware of that. Regarding the salaries of different employees, each year the city goes through a process in which there are increasing salaries if it's warranted, if it's merited, if it's in a collective bargaining agreement, and we have to adjust the ceilings on all of these salaries to accommodate whatever that process is. So will Mr. Barron be getting a raise? Mr. Barron is in the same process as all other employees in the city.
Sorry for bad news. Interesting, so he's part of the union.
No, he's not part of the union. It's a management salary ordinance. Mr.
Right,
Barron.
so then you all decide the salary.
Who's the you all, sir?
City council, correct? No? City council doesn't get to decide the
City
salary?
council does not set the salaries of the employees.
Okay.
Employees,
What's that?
not of the,
Okay, but you said the range.
the range, which is from this.
Okay, and so does this ordinance change the range for the part-time public information officer?
This ordinance adds the part-time public officer into the ordinance.
I see, so it was never contemplated that there might be a part-time public information officer adding it in, but, yeah, I guess I'm just somewhat at a loss for what the other public information officer does, since we never see him, and I understand he's making $80,000 a year, and apparently that's going to stay the same under this, correct?
It's within the range.
Matter of fact, I don't know if it is. Right, 93, oh no, it goes up to 99, okay. All right, well, I think those are the only questions I had on the salary ordinance, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members of New Brunswick. My name is Robert Vasquez. I attend New Brunswick High School, and I'm here with a particular agenda in mind. There is a current movement happening in our state and the country. Recently, Newark has passed the ordinance allowing
I'm
citizens.
sorry to interrupt you. I want to hear you, but at this time, we're only talking about this specific
Oh,
ordinance.
okay.
There will be a moment that you will come back at the public section of the meeting,
Okay.
and we would love to actually hear you about that.
Thank you.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore. Due to where you're saying that you don't know the salaries and whatever, would you please give me a meaning of what are you approving? Someone stand up and tell me, what are you approving for? You're telling Mr. Cradaville, oh, you don't know who's getting this, so what is this resolution for? Can you tell me in detail?
We are not approving salaries, Ms. Danielle. With this ordinance, what we are approving is the range that a person in a certain specific position, title, is able to get paid. So it's a range between, if I could be, between 30,000 to 80,000, and then the position. We are not setting salaries here. We're setting a range of where the salary can fall within.
Well, no matter what, like I said, as a resident of 47 years here, I just see you guys as, very dishonest people, a bunch of crooks, who get people paid, not to do their jobs.
Thank you, Ms. Danielle. Anybody else wishes to address the council on this specific ordinance? Hearing none?
I just don't understand.
We need to.
Councilmember Anderson?
Hold on for a second. Thank you. Let me just, for the protocol, in order to be able to talk at the council, no, you need, at each point, you may stand up. Do you name, if it's related to this ordinance, and then after
Yes,
that.
it is related.
So,
I don't understand. can you make me, you keep saying range. You could say that a range could come from 10 to 20. So when you're saying a range on the salary, what is the range? Somebody has to know something. I'm embarrassed, I'm a resident here, and you people all sitting here and supposed to know numbers and you can't say a range, come on.
Ma'am, the information has been provided, and there's probably how many positions are in that
You
ordinance.
said he didn't have none.
There is, every position in the city is within that ordinance, and it goes, there's copies, and it shows you what is the position and what is the salary range. And we will show you at the end of the meeting if you want to see it, but it was provided before, so thank you.
Do you want any motion, Leslie?
Yes, let's go for the motion.
Motion to move.
Second.
Also.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Now we have ordinance on first reading, we have 6 of them. Number 1 is an ordinance to authorize the granting of the right-of-way and sky bridge aerial easement agreement to Robert B. Johnson University Hospital and Robert B. Johnson Property Holding Corporation over and across the portion of the city's right-of-way known as Somerset Street and Little Albany Street.
I move the ordinance setting down February 21st, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Same date together.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have ordinance number 2, ordinance 022-402, is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.20, Schedule 39, parking zones for handicapped persons. We are adding 20 Maple Street, Apartment 1A, and 264 Sanford Street.
I move the ordinance setting down February 21st, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Same date together.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have ordinance 022-403, is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of Brunswick, Title 16, Land Development Code, Chapter 16.24, site plan reviews, minor site plan. This is in reference to smoking lounges and nightclubs.
I move the ordinance setting down February 21st, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Same date together.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Now we have ordinance 022-404, is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of Brunswick, Title 17, zoning, second reading to be held on March 6, 2024 at 5:30. This is in reference to expanding the C2A zone at a parcel on Harvard Street.
I move the ordinance setting down March 6th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Same date together.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have ordinance 022-404, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of Brunswick, Title 5, Business Licenses and Regulation, Chapter 5109, Cannabis Licensing and Regulation.
I move the ordinance setting down February 21st, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Same date together.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Then we have ordinance 022-406, it's an ordinance authorizing and ratifying the acquisition of certain abandoned properties in accordance with the Abandoned Property Rehabilitation Act by the exercise of the power of eminent domain.
I move the ordinance setting down February 21st, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Same date together.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. At this time, before we prepare to have a presentation that we have tonight, I'm going to ask DMR, Representative from Dick Schneider, to give us an update related to the last meeting presentation. There were some questions that they were able to get us some answers to.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, council, for your time. I appreciate it. I'm Michael Mikowski with DMR Architects, for some of you that have met me and others who haven't. I just want to read through the response that we had sent back to the council's questions and the public's questions out loud. And as you guys know, the presentation that we had presented is conceptual in nature and is subject to change. It's just to capture a vision of what George Street could be. So in regards to snow removal we likely address on a block-by-block basis within the George Street area. We'd work within the city of New Brunswick and city market to identify the available equipment and to determine the best location for snow piling in the event for larger storms. For light snow events, we would anticipate salting in the plaza or any of the other options that would be chosen. In the advance of a storm, we would have excess piling, snow in designated areas. We would initially anticipate these areas to be alongside the side streets, not directly on George Street. And it could be dedicated to a designated parking spot as an example of one of those places to have the snow loaded on. The other option would be remove the snow and deliver it to a larger public park or open space in close proximity. Next is an ADA compliance question. Any plan that will be designed will be in full compliance with ADA requirements in the state of New Jersey. Next is a question on sufficient trash and recycling. The plan includes to have an 8 by 36 foot area designated for trash and recycling located on Bayard, Patterson, and Church Street, which are intended to be large enough to support the needs of the businesses along each of the blocks. Bin sizes range from 32 to 96 gallons and can be placed back to back. The conceptual plan also includes 12 bins at each of those locations, and they can be increased to 20 bins per location. The bins are designated to be lockable and rodent proof and come in a variety of designs and colors. Trash receptacles will also be provided for the public within the plaza. That goes beyond the businesses, and the intent is that those receptacles will be picked up on a day-to-day basis and placed into the larger bins. Public seating can and will be provided. The location, type, design can be determined as the next part of the design process. As far as project cost, our scope, meaning DMR, our scope of work was initially for the study to not include a cost estimate as part of that, our scope, and is premature at this point in the process to give an accurate estimate. We would recommend as the next step in this process to move forward with a survey to better understand both the underground utilities and the above ground services that could be needed to more accurately get a potential cost estimate for this project. With that information, we can give an appropriate cost estimate for the underground and above ground improvements as needed, depending upon the option that is chosen. Bike lanes are a critical component of any city design, and as part of the next steps, we would recommend engaging in a dialogue regarding bike access to George Street from surrounding areas and neighborhoods. As it pertains to the specific option, option 2, which is the plaza option, the concept plan does not permit bicycle use within the public plaza, specifically for safety issues regarding the public. This is intended to create a safe pedestrian-only plaza that require bicyclists to dismount their bikes at the entrances and exits of the park. And for the other options, bicycle lanes can and will be added to the plan within the street. Public restrooms. The conceptual plans do not currently provide public restrooms within the design. However, public restrooms can be provided within a structure if they are simply required. Emergency access. As part of the initial process, DMR met with both fire and police department and coordinated with respect to all the options, not only one option, the necessary dimensions to allow for emergency vehicle access from a safety standpoint. Option 2 in particular, which is the closed plaza, provides an 18-foot clear area on both sides to service both sides in case of an emergency for George Street proper. We anticipate re-engaging with both departments as part of the next steps to ensure all safety concerns are addressed as part of the design development. The other options provide access along the proposed street. It's just option 2 that has the full closure of George Street. Programming. This was not part of our initial scope of work as far as DMR was tasked, and we agree that it is a critical component to the success of the project. We consider that City Market would be taking the next steps of this programming for George Street, depending upon if the design moves forward and what option would be selected. And as far as hostile architecture, this was not considered for the initial concept plans, and we anticipate this would be discussed as part of the next step. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for providing those answers to us, and I'm pretty sure that we will continue this conversation, as we said at the last meeting, moving forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So at this time, we have a presentation, public hearing is a presentation from, it's a conceptual, to talk about the conceptual plans for Alec Baker Park in connection with the DP 3 acres park development funding and Erin's Park grants that we are looking for to get funding. So I would like to have Mr. Goldberg. This is your part. Are you ready?
Yep, sorry.
It's all yours. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, members of the council. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the renovations to Baker Park, potential renovations to Baker Park, with a grant that the city is applying for up to $1.9 million in grant opportunities. This is made up of 2 different grants, one with the Urban Parks Grant Program for $500,000, and one with the Green Acres Park Development Fund for an additional $1.4 million. Excuse me. If awarded these 2 grant sources, the funding to renovate the park hone in the city's concept plan. The city seeks the input from park goers and general public regarding the possible renovation. The concept plan provided by our Parks Department is here on display. It's also available on our website at citybrunswick.org/survey. Alec Baker Park is a 7.3 acre recreational space located on Renson Avenue at Elm Street. The grounds provided a comfortable area of sun and shade with partially wooded boundary, a brook, and adjacent homes to townhomes on the north and west boundaries. With regard to the environmental impact of this renovation could have, I offer the following from our environmental impact assessment. First, as the project involves renovating amenities already located at the site, and involves only updating or replacing the city, there will be no additional environmental impacts. Second, the replacement of the old baseball field with the soccer field may increase usage because of the popularity of the sport in the community. However, there is no reason to believe that this will cause any increase in environmental impact. According to the Trust for Public Land report and assessment done by the City's Parks and Garden Commission, the city and our Parks Department are concerned with the following. Welcome identification signs at both entrances with arbors. Enhanced crosswalks at the park entrances on both May Street and Elm Street. A new entrance from the adjacent townhomes into the park for a total of 3 entrances. Enlargement of the parking area at May Street entrance. A walking running loop throughout the park. Installation of sidewalks into the park to connect to the walking loop. The former baseball field will be repurposed into a soccer field with nets and also a practice field. The basketball courts will be reconditioned and upgraded. An additional all-purpose athletic field will be installed at the site of the former tennis court. A fitness station with exercise loops will also be installed. A water feature like a splashing pad to encourage residents to visit during the warmer weather will be installed. A completely inclusive playground. I picked Further installations will include a picnic area relating to families to spend recreation time together in the park, a dog park with separate sections for small and large dogs for residents in the area, a gazebo with small sitting social area between the basketball court and the dog park, closer to the Main Street side. Overall landscaping and planting of fruit trees and other trees and shrubs. You should also be aware that a survey was placed on the city website on January 23rd and will remain open until 4 p.m. on February 22nd. The survey has been available in both English and Spanish, and everybody's invited to participate. If you have any more detailed questions, the city superintendent of parks, Mr. Salsa, and the landscape architect for the city, Alex Oros, are also here to answer any further questions.
Thank you. Before I entertain any questions from the council and then from the public, I just want to thank the New Brunswick Park and Gardens Commission for your support into this application for grant. Appreciate it. Yes, Mr. Professor.
I think Mr. Goldberg probably wanted to also note that the renderings here show the park in its current condition, and then the color renderings show some of the proposed items he spoke about in block form, not in great detail, but one could really get a sense of how the park will be rendered into those images. These are also available online.
That's right.
So if the public would like to see them online, they're going up.
Thank you. So any questions from council members? Any comments?
The entrances to the parks, there is one with the grate on it down by Main Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Alec Baker there. The one at the end of Ellen Street is an opening, and then there are 2 openings on the side, would you say?
Correct.
And those are directly into the apartments or the houses that are?
Yes. Another additional entrance space.
Other questions from the council? So at this time, we will open for public comments. Any member of the public who wishes to address the council on the proposed application?
Good evening. Hello. My name is Charles Bergman, 13 Stratford Place, New Brunswick. I'm also have the privilege to serve as chair of the city's Parks and Gardens Commission. And I just want, on behalf of the Parks and Gardens Commission, say that we very enthusiastically support these proposed renovations to Baker Park. Baker Park has been at the top of the Parks and Gardens Commission's wish list for many years in terms of a park that could use some additional TLC. Personally, I also lived for several years in Renaissance Station, not far from Baker Park. Took my kids there sometimes, and it has not been in all these years that I've been in New Brunswick a heavily utilized park, despite the fact that it's in a heavily residential area. And I think that these upgrades, especially the amenities that are going to make it more attractive to families, the entrances that are going to make it more inviting to residents in the area, will hopefully go a long way towards bringing more positive use, more families and residents into the park to enjoy the new amenities and make it really a standout neighborhood park. So we're grateful for the Parks Department's work on this and the city's work on this, and hopeful that the funding applications will be successful. Thank you.
And the park?
Hello, City Council, it's me again.
Yeah, are you going to talk about the park?
Yeah.
About the park?
Oh, no. Oh, wait.
I'll let you know when it's time. I'll let you know.
Sorry.
Don't worry, I'm going to make sure you know.
Sorry, it's a Wednesday, sorry.
Don't worry. I'll make sure that I let
Thank
you know.
you, thank you.
Hi, April West, 183 Sedan Street. So first I want to say I appreciate the opportunity for public input and the release of the information. That's very helpful. And I did see the survey, and I appreciate that that's open for the public as well. It's good to know what the deadline is. One thing I do want to ask about that I didn't hear, as part of the current plans for the reimagined park is any sustainability aspects, such as native plantings, pollinator garden, use of recycled materials. If that is something that is, in the plan somewhere or could be incorporated.
Mr. Goldberg? Please.
I will defer to Mr. Salsa on that.
Thank you, Mr. Salsa.
Good evening. We could absolutely incorporate a pollinator garden We are going to be planting some fruit trees throughout the park, so that might be something that,
What kind of fruit trees?
cherries, apples.
So we will make sure that, thank you, Mr. Sampson. Thank you for your, we will keep it in mind moving forward. Yes, Mr. Cruz.
Council President, the purpose of the public hearing is for this type of input, so what you are saying will go into the record for future thoughts and comments.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And then I also just want to note that I hope that with, whatever renovations are made to the park, that, an effort will be made to maintain the current level of tree cover, because I know that sometimes is a sacrifice as redesigns are happening, and I do think that's an important feature of this park.
Thank you.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore. I would like to say thank you to the Parks Department. I thank Mr. Alonso Dutour plenty of times. He responds to my matters with parks. My question is, I have to say I did not get a chance to see the ordinance for a while. Would this finally include new water fountains and restrooms in this now?
Mr. Salsa, is that in the original preliminary list?
We do have a water fountain that's incorporated in the funding. Bathrooms, public bathrooms, we don't have it. It's a small park, but that's something that we can definitely look into in the future. If the park gets the use that we're hoping it's going to get.
Well, okay, my main concern due to where I've been talking about for so many years, old water fountain pipes due to wear and having an issue with the water not flowing right over there. So that's really my number one thing I hope we do see an upgrade on is the water fountains over there, safe water. Thank you, great job.
Good evening, my name is Dominic Buffler. I've been a resident of Brunswick in close proximity to Baker Park for more than 10 years. Baker Park is the #1 park I visit with my children. I would like to ask specifically about trees. And I know there are many grown trees in Baker Park. I have not heard a specific mention of them. I would really, in particular, be interested in if they're going to be all chopped down in this part of this plan. I am asking this because we've recently observed Feaster Park. There were many old trees that provide a lot of shade and shelter that were all cut down, in my view, unnecessarily. I would like to ensure that this plan for Baker Park does not include chopping down of healthy old trees that provide shelter from the wind and from the sun for anyone that goes and uses this park. Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have any plans for taking down the trees. The concept, the work we're going to be doing is to kind of work underneath that tree canopy without having to disturb any of the existing large trees that are there now.
And you will be adding more?
Yes, we're going to be adding more fruit trees and flowering trees. But as far as like the existing tree canopy, we have no intentions of taking any of it down.
Okay. I did review the plan, so I was not quite sure.
It's conceptual because you're not going to see all the trees that are there.
All right.
They're not going to.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public wishes to comment?
Yes, please, briefly. Charlie Prattville in Brunswick. I wanted to first of all thank the Parks and Gardens Commission. I had the pleasure of attending their recent online meeting where this was discussed, and it seems like there was a tight timeline to be able to get this hearing done, get an application submitted, and they deserve credit for moving it forward quickly and for putting out a survey, a bilingual survey, and pleased once again to see a public hearing here at this meeting. April and I visited the park this weekend, and our obvious huge takeaway is that it is very underutilized. I think when we were there was maybe one other person there, and it was a beautiful weekend day. So I think anything we can do to make it more inviting, more accessible to people, especially pedestrians, will go a long way towards making the most of this public space. That's all I got.
Thank you.
I also have a question to ask. Is it possible?
Ma'am, if you could just get close to the microphone, we can hear you.
Is it possible that, I know they're saying to put a soccer field, but because we've already had a baseball field, will it be feasible? Because I know Baker Park. I've been here all my life, so I do know Baker Park. So would it be possible to keep both, or we have to go with one or the other? Because I'm thinking about the kids. The kids can benefit because the kids up in New Brunswick play baseball and soccer. And that would be a good spot for them to practice that, if we're able to accommodate that.
Mr. Sampson?
Unfortunately, we can't accommodate both baseball and soccer. However, if, pickup games for kids that are, want to play after school, the field will be big enough where they can play. It's just not going to have a backstop. It's not going to be an official field, but it's going to be an open field. So we're conceptual, like I said, conceptual plan. Baseball field at Baker Park, as you know, hasn't been used for a while. So there's a big demand for soccer courts. And that's the reason why. But I mean, the kids are more than welcome to have pickup games, and if we need to do any type of temporary striping for any kind of event that might be going on, we'd be more than happy to accommodate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Sampson. Anybody else from the public wishes to comment on this matter? Well, thank you. Again, thank you to the Park Commission and Gardens. I appreciate it. We're done with this part. Let's proceed. And now we're going to, before we go into the resolutions, I wanted just to get some updates also that on one of the last meetings, we were asked about the climate action plan for the city. So Mr. Lewis, if you could give us a brief update as to where we are.
Council President, members of the council, if you don't mind, I'll read my notes so that they're clear. The city was awarded a grant from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for technical assistance in developing a community energy plan, also known as the plan. The grant funds were used to engage Greener by Design LLC for said services. Greener by Design is a New Brunswick-based company experienced in offering comprehensive services for the successful development and implementation of energy, environment, and resiliency projects in the public and private sectors. The plan seeks to create specific strategies for the city to pursue in the immediate future to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the local energy system. The proposed plan will drill down on municipal operations, including municipal vehicles, fleets, and buildings, as well as public policies and programs designed to reduce community emissions. Starting in January of 2023, Greener by Design began reviewing the Sustainable New Jersey and Community Energy Plan Work Plan template, and have been meeting and communicating with city officials to obtain community and city information and data. This information and other research efforts by Greener by Design will be utilized to create the plan. As of today, Greener by Design is in the last stage of completing the preliminary draft plan. Over the next few months, city officials will review the preliminary draft plan for completeness and provide opportunities for public input and comment. Ultimately, the mayor and council will then take action to review and adopt the plan prior to July 1st, 2024. I'll continue to provide you updates, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Another update that I wanted to provide, there's a few more. At the last meeting also, there were some questions about what is the city doing or what are we doing about the drug prices. As you know, the city doesn't provide direct services. We depend on partners to provide those services to our community. Nonetheless, Lieutenant Hoover, I know that the police department we do have some prevention programs in the city, especially in the schools. Lieutenant Hoover, can you talk a little bit about what drug prevention programs we have in the school system and initiatives in the city?
Sure. DARE and GRADE have been long-standing features in the Brunswick Public Schools for longer than I've worked here. In addition, anyone we come across who unfortunately suffers from an overdose, there has been a law in the books for a couple of years now called Blue Cares, and we provide literature and outreach as to how to venture into recovery if they so choose to. On top of that, all of our officers are equipped with Narcan, and we definitely use it.
Thank you so much. And then lastly, Mr. DeGaulle is here at the hall. If you could give us, I wanted to have an update and of how is the homeless outreach team working and co-group.
Thank you, Madam President, members of council. I actually have 5 program areas. If you don't mind, I'll update everyone on 5 program areas within the Department of Human and Community Services. The first area is Code Blue, and they're all somewhat interrelated on some level. So to date, our Code Blue season, we have had 53 Code Blue events, and that's beginning in November of 2023 to our current date. In November, there were 13 events. December, 14 events. January, there were 20 Code Blue events, and in February, we have had 6 to date. The Warming Center, located on the 2nd floor of 81 Remsen Avenue, Unity Square, has a capacity of 26 guests. The average number of guests in the month of January were 19. We have engaged laundry and janitorial cleaning services for cleaning blankets, which are provided by the city, and the Warming Center itself, respectively. There are currently 4 staff members. There was a proposal for the second item, a day center. The day center has been formed through a partnership with the Urban Health Collaborative located at 24 Kirkpatrick Street. Operations are daytime, February, and will begin February 20th. The operations will consist of hours of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., the provision of hygiene kits, clothing, food, and other support services such as case management, workforce development, and counseling, which will also be offered to guests. The Division of Human Services will be assisting in the marketing, messaging, staffing, the HIMIS, the Homelessness Information Management System, which is run by the county, intake process, and supplies. The city is also a recipient of a grant where we created municipal homelessness outreach teams, or MHOTs. The MHOT outreach has began conducting questionnaire activities as early as January 2nd of this year. While the scheduled outreach dates are Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 4-hour periods, the team has also done outreach at Code Blue, the Dignity Center, and with Elijah's Promise. The city is divided into 4 zones, and the schedule is built around zone coverage. There is collaboration with the Middlesex County Coming Home Office, as well as the Mexican Consulate, to make sure that we engage all populations. The Dignity Center, which operates year-round, it operates Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at Memorial Stadium, 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., and 12 noon to 2 p.m. Hot showers, clothing, and hygiene supplies are also provided at that facility. Lastly, the Municipal Homelessness Prevention Roundtable is an initiative that was begun by our director, and the division conducts a roundtable meeting the last Wednesday of each month for all service providers to this population. Outcomes have been 2 social service open house events and the facilitation of Project Connect, which coincided with the county's point-in-time count for homelessness. And in general, the roundtable has provided better collaboration between all of these service providers that are within the city.
Thank you so much for the update. At this time, we're going to go into resolutions. We have resolutions 1 to 43, except 41 for the school. Any members of the council have any questions or any comments about the resolutions? Okay, none. At this time, we're going to open the floor for public comments on the resolutions. Not yet, Mr. Vasquez. Just for the resolutions, you have up to 5 minutes to address the council on the resolutions only. One time up. Anybody who wishes to address the council on the resolutions, please step forward.
You don't have any You have, I know you said resolution, or rebuttal from the,
Anybody who has any comments on the resolutions?
yeah. Hey, I just want to make sure I was hearing.
Hi, yes, I'm going to start off with 19. It's good to see a big increase. I know the ones are going to get $90,000 for Code Blue. I have been talking to Mr. Jones on certain things, and I've also been seeing other locations as well. I'm hoping to where, can you please tell me what this upgrade of $60,000, what will be new due to where I have to say I see a lot of things with Code Blue to where I volunteer and work with a lot of homeless, feeding, giving, passing out coats and everything. But I still say it is not enough due to where, wow, to only put 27 or 29 people for Code Blue due to where, wow, you already had a man that froze to death on Townsend Street in, on the end of November, beginning December. And wow, honestly, I had rescued another one from freezing to death. That was the beginning, the beginning of January. So like I said, I'm glad to see more money, but like I said, do I see enough help being helped out here? No, I do not. Now to see that, wow, women are going into Code Blue with their children due to where, wow, and I know how some of these drug users react due to where, like I said, I help them on the street, but they know how to work with me because I know how to help them. But I do not find that appropriate due to where, wow, please open up a women's shelter due to where you have enough men, but I'm seeing too many women homeless, and due to where honestly too many people are scared to go to Code Blue due to where they're being robbed of their belongings. Now I did talk to Mr. Jones, and I appreciate God bless him for working with me, asking me questions due to where, would you please tell me within this money, will lockers be included? Because I've seen at several other Code Blues listed where you're able to put your belongings and no worries about anybody stealing your belongings.
So Mr. Police.
So the grant amount provided by the county, as you may recall in our previous discussions in previous years, the amount the county provides us in the grant is not nearly enough to cover the cost of Code Blue. And with this increased amount of money, unfortunately seems that there continues to be more Code Blue events as well. So this money is used to provide the warming shelter. You heard Mr. Lowe speak about the services required to maintain and provide a clean space. You heard him speak about the laundry services to provide clean and fresh blankets. The facility does need to be maintained, and so while we're very thankful for the increase in the grant amount, unfortunately it's still shy of what the cost of the program is to the city.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, I don't see how, wow, Perth Amboy can have their Code Blue, where they got last year got 152,000, not exactly the exact number, but close to 152,000. Well, wow, their Code Blue is much better. Wow, you don't allow people in who's drink, have nasty attitude or drug over attitude. What, due to where they're allowed to have a meal just in case somebody has a health issue, due to where, wow, they also have security, due to where I know it's a situation sometimes, like I said, and I know how it is when somebody, I have family member, I've been through it due to where drugs or alcohol can have a temper, and due to where security, and you can't tell me it's not true, how many times have I walked by, just walking where, what? Police are there due to where a certain matter, due to where, so like I said, please, I hope due to where, like I said, Perth Amboy, I've been seeing a lot of other Code Blues with the same amount of money to be better. I'm not saying I'm not appreciating what, it's a big increase over $60,000, but wow, for New Brunswick to be in a situation, I think we can still ask for more and start doing better. Come on, like I said, 47 years, born and raised here. New Brunswick was never like this.
Thank you, Ms. Aniel. Maybe something that we could do when the outreach team is out there, maybe promote that the Perth Amboy has one, that other towns have one. Maybe that would alleviate the challenges that we are presented in Brunswick. So thank you for that information. Mr. Carter, oh,
Thank you, Joe.
may you say your name, please, so that way I
I'm Doris Elliott. I've been here a little longer than 40-some years.
Thank you.
But what I will say is that what I see in the city, I love it. And I do know that money is a factor, but wait a minute.
I don't want to interrupt you, but we still, in what resolution are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Code Blue, what we're talking about.
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. $65,000 there, where it is a lot of money.
We already referred to
it's
all the time.
not a lot of money. But is there any other way that, where we could put it out to the public to where maybe, like she was saying, more people would like to volunteer, being we're in the setting and it's being recorded?
So I know that we used to take volunteers, now we have staff covering the hours, but nonetheless, I would suggest that you get in touch with Director Keith Jones or Mr. Paul, the department. They're the ones who are manning the Code Blue, so if there's any need of any other assistance, they might be able to provide you with that information. Okay? Thank you.
Good evening once again, Charlie Prattville. Speaking of birthday and I'll start with number 5. Police Department receiving funds from Perth Amboy. Can somebody just explain how this came to be?
It's not from Perth Amboy, but it's an Hoover.
Correct, it's not from Perth Amboy. It is a federal grant that is administered by Perth Amboy for many years. And it's dispersed between, off the top of my head, us, Woodbridge, Edison, and Perth Amboy.
Scott, it just says in the receipt of funds from the city of Perth Amboy.
Yeah, because they administrate. The grant is given to Perth Amboy and they administrate, but it's for 5 10.
Understood. Yeah, I appreciate that. We move on to page 4 at the bottom, Code Blue. Wanted to clarify, so $150,951 is a grant from the County of Middlesex. Which time period is this for? Is this retroactive for the 53 nights so far this year, or is this forward-looking to next winter?
It's covered November of 2023 to April 2024.
Okay, so basically most of the money's already been, spent. Is that fair to say?
Say so.
If it hasn't, it will be by April.
By the April.
Okay. And I did want to ask, I asked at the last meeting about harm reduction of New Jersey, the New Jersey Harm Reduction Network. When Mr. Jones was here in 2023, he had mentioned there was going to be a partnership regarding Code Blue involving that organization. I was hoping to understand what happened to that and see if that's not the case anymore. Does anybody know?
I will follow up on that, Mr. Carter, because I don't have the answer.
Okay, I think that's what he said last time. So.
Well, I apologize if I omitted to give you an update on that tonight, but I will make sure that the next meeting you will have an update, Mr. Carter.
I appreciate it. I intend to be at the next meeting. I thank you for that. And I did want to, speak up. 26 people. I thought it was 29, but apparently 26 being the limit of how many people can be accommodated is really precarious, right? Because I know it might be that the average for January was 19 people who took you up on the offer, but I know that at least some nights in December it filled up, and people were left with no good option. I think what I said back then still stands, that the city really needs to find a bigger or a second location for this. I think it's great, some of the stuff we heard today about a day center and collaborating with another nonprofit. I think that's really good, and the outreach is really good, but at the end of the day, if you've got 35 people who are got nowhere to go on a cold night, you've got to be able to accommodate all of them. You just have to. I think that's what the law intended. That's what we all want in our hearts, and as a practical matter to save lives, we should be doing that. And so whether it's the guest house, which used to be used, or other public buildings that are just sitting there with nobody in them, we've got to have either a bigger or a second location, and I think that still is necessary. I guess I'll move on to the next one, is Resolution 20. So the Board of Education is going to take some land from the city, I guess at no charge, but you're giving it to them, This is on Roosevelt Avenue near the high school. Can you explain what the plan is there? What will the board be doing with this land?
It's part of the expansion to the gym of the school. I mean, it's a lot that is owned by the city, but Mr. Shani.
No, that's accurate, Council President. It's a vacant, unapproved lot the city's owned for years. We have no use for it. The Board of Ed is in need of it to expand the gym. It's going to be used for educational purposes, and they approached us if we would give it to them, which we're allowed to do under that particular statute.
I mean, I've seen the construction going on there. I don't believe that the gym is going to leave the existing property. Is this maybe for an additional entrance to the parking lot, or, I mean, is literally the building going to?
My understanding is an expansion, but
It's
I
an
don't know.
expansion, and it could be for
Yeah.
the extension of the parking area, the access area. I don't know exactly, but that's.
I would think that would be the type of thing that the council should know before approving it, and the public should know what the plan is if the city's going to transfer public land to another entity. So I guess I'll follow up with the Board of Ed, but I think that, if you're giving away land, there should be a very clear, good reason, and we should know what it is. And,
For your comments.
yeah,
Time
I
is up.
did want to just,
Time is up.
I'll be back.
Thank you. Anybody else want to comment on the resolutions? Say none.
Move the resolutions.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes, with the exception of 34, we'll
Duly noted. Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
So at this time, Mr. Vasquez, get ready. At this time, we are going to open up the floor for a public comment. Just to, as I usually say in this meeting, this is not a question and answer period, this is a comment period. We want to hear from you, anybody from the community, from the public who wishes to address the council. You have up to 5 minutes, one time up. And
Thank you for having me again, Council. My name is Robert, as you already know. I already mentioned that there is a big movement happening in the state right now, and perhaps the country. We all know that Newark has approved an ordinance that gave 16-year-olds and now the right to vote in New Brunswick. And this has become a very big discussion at school. I've been talking with a lot of students, teachers, faculty, and we've gotten to a point where this discussion should be moved from the classrooms or hallways to here, with you fine people, the people who govern and make impactful decisions in New Brunswick. So here I am to start the conversation. For too long, students have been subject to an environment where violence and other social issues have unfortunately became the norm for the community. For too long, the lack of transparency and respect has had a real damaging impact on our city. Progress has been made, don't get me wrong, but there hasn't been a moment where people truly got together and started a movement that was based on fighting for fundamental rights. Here's an example. Back then, not even eligible voters could vote for their Board of Education member. Only the mayor could appoint people to the board seats. People were sick and tired of issues that affected them during that era. And so, residents took action and started a movement and fought against the seemingly unethical political machine. And the people won. Like I said before, there has been progress in the city. But given the right to 16 and 17-year-olds in New Brunswick High School will emphasize the progress being made in the city and even provide pretty beneficial perks, like increasing the voter turnout. Did you know that only 3% of eligible voters casted their votes in last year's Board of Education election? Sadly, those percentages have become a trend of low turnout, and we need to fix that. If we ever do this through an ordinance or whatever, it can give schools an opportunity to develop and strengthen our civics education. There is no reason to think that a 16-year-old can't make an informed decision. When laws are going to be affecting you directly, you should have a say in who represents you. 16 and 17-year-olds deserve the right to vote in Board of Education elections. So before I go, I want the City Council to do something for me. I want you to go home tonight. I want you to talk to your family members, to your constituents, to each other about this issue. They might actually have some good insight, and we cannot waste the opportunity that can really change our city for the better. Because for so long, there has been this bad stigma. And frankly, the people are tired, but we don't know where to start. We start now. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to say thank you. I think it's great to hear from our youth. It's very impassioned, very well written, and so I thank you, and I'm sure that I can speak for all of us that, at least we will very much consider what you brought up, as eloquently spoken, so thank you.
Thank you, my colleague. I commend you for getting up and expressing, and sometimes it's difficult. You're a little nerve-wracking to speak up in front of a room. I really do appreciate you taking the time and you're united to be here with us and to share your advocacy on behalf of your peers at school.
Thank you.
I echo everyone's. Thank you so much. It's always refreshing to see our students, our kids come in and talk to us, right? So thank you for coming. Okay? Anybody else want to comment? Any other comments?
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore from Somerset Street. Like I said, I've been a Black resident of New Brunswick for 47 years. Wow, can I please know who voted to make New Brunswick a sanctuary city in 2018? Was it the city council or the mayor? Because wow, with me being in court 7 hours last week with Christian Ramirez Rodriguez, wow, and seeing he's assaulted over 12 people, robbed over 16 people, 3 pages long. But wow, this man has never been really in jail because wow, he's not a U.S. citizen, he's an illegal immigrant. Please, how do they do the crime and don't do the time? And what, I still have to go back to court to this, to where New Brunswick didn't ever show the evidence? Please, like I said, how do they do the crime and don't do the time? I will say, at this moment, I'm just trying to stay calm due to where, yes, I give you my word. I will be filing a lawsuit, and I swear on my grandmother's grave, against New Brunswick Police Department, because I'm tired of the harassment and the racism due to where you can't treat people equal, you do not belong on this earth. And like I said, for me to, like I said, with Suzanne Secor Loving announcing that, wow, my phone was not on a tracker to the public sitting up there when she was president, well, please tell me, how do I know every license plate? Wow, your black vehicle, 20 years old, GFX, Black Charger, AZE. Oh, majority of your unmarked cars, KVY. Oh, but majority of your cars, GM9. Oh, majority of your unmarked cars, RUE. Am I reading from a paper? No, I am not. And did I tell Lieutenant Hoover, while to try to work things out, I am not no damn crime member, I am not no damn prostitute being followed by your officers. And the main one, that was I'm not even going to say Mr., that was Mr. Alexander Jimenez, badge 326, car 916. I'm tired of it. Do I have the evidence to prove what I am? Oh, yes, I will. But I will tell you, for New Brunswick Police Department putting me in handcuffs last Thursday for disorderly conduct due to after I was assaulted, maced with police mace, and assaulted, and I have a concussion, and wow, those 2 have not been under arrest, and for you to let that woman go first, oh, I guarantee you, wow, you will have a lawsuit. Wow, if that's what, talking loud? Please, how many videos due to her yesterday? Why, just because the man wasn't black due to her on the corner of French and Harvey while drinking his beer, cursing at the police? Did he get arrested? Oh, did the video I posted before with the young lady on Remsen Avenue? Yes, suck my dick, cop, suck my dick, cop. Did she? Well, excuse me, these are the correct words. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but like I said, wow, did any of them get arrested? No, they didn't. And like I said, you still see that I'm suffering due to where the second time I was taken to the hospital
because you've been wanting to make me as a criminal. Why? Because you hate to see black folk do something good? Wow, first trying to arrest my son, and you tried to arrest my nephew due to a false arrest, and what, you give me a ticket in park after hours due to a, what, I was really calling an ambulance or someone? What, do I have enough to go down the line? Then what, you tried to arrest my son due to him and his friend? What, put charges on them where they got stabbed and they were the victim? And wow, you just keep harassing, riding around, just harassing? Do I have plenty of videos? Most certainly I do. But like I said, for you to say that, wow, my phone isn't on a tracker, oh, I guarantee you to the public, when you said my phone isn't on a tracker, wow, we'll see. Were you sworn in to tell lies or what? Like I said, I'm not no damn criminal, and I'm tired of New Brunswick Police Department, and I guarantee you, like I said, out of all the stories with J.T. Miller, what lying saying my nephew got arrested, what he never was, what making lose his scholarship for $150,000, what? Then, like I said, what, you just keep coming at me for one thing. I don't care if it's dismissed. Every case has been dismissed, but I don't care. Due to I'm tired of the damn harassment, and you will all pay.
Next, please.
Hi, April Nicholas from 43 Sedan Street.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm very short. April Nicholas from 43 Sedan Street. First, I just want to say I wholeheartedly agree with the points that Mr. Vasquez brought up earlier about 16 and 17-year-olds in New Brunswick being able to vote in the Board of Education elections for the schools that they're at. I think that's, very sensible that the people who are most impacted by that governing body's decisions should be allowed to weigh in on who is representing them. And I do think that it's a good movement to pay attention to now that that wall has started to roll. I also want to say I do appreciate the diligence in providing program updates, especially in providing time for the people who are actively working on those programs to speak at length about what they're doing. I think that's well worth the time, so I wanted to say thank you for that. On the matter of the George Street, the future of George Street concept, I appreciate the confirmation that public seating will be included, assuming that we move forward with that pedestrian plaza idea. And thanks for addressing the concerns about public restrooms and hostile architecture, but I definitely think that's something that needs to be nailed down pretty swiftly once the decision has been made to move forward with any plans to change George Street, because I do think that that's a priority from a community perspective. I'm certainly in favor of incorporating bike lanes and bike parking in the new design. I understand the considerations having to be made about pedestrian safety and where the cyclists are compared to where the pedestrians are. I do think that making George Street a real community destination would be a good impetus for the city to invest in improving the interconnected bike infrastructure, especially that needs into the heart of downtown. And I can only assume that when we're talking about the climate action plan and emission reductions, that encouraging people to use low or no carbon forms of transportation is a part of that conversation. So I think that that's a good opportunity for the climate action planning and the planning around George Street to coalesce into something that we have been asking for a long time, the improvements to the bicycle infrastructure. I would definitely, as the conversation moves forward, appreciate some additional insights into what the transit plans or the bus rerouting would look like if we're going with the pedestrian-only design. I think there's so much good to be had from transition to a pedestrian plaza, but it's, we can't forget that the public transportation infrastructure is such a critical part for how people move through the city. And certainly thus far, in how buses have been rerouted with pretty lacking signage and no bus shelters for the new ways that buses have been routed. That's, I'm sure, taken a toll on the ridership, and it's also deprived people of public asset that they really need. So I hope that is going to be part of a future update to really drill in on what are the options for rerouting public transit if it's not allowed to go down George Street. And then on trash and recycling already incorporated to the plan, but I would also encourage a discussion about sustainable disposal of organic waste, composting, since I'm sure that that's a relevant matter both from an environment and climate perspective and from just the sensibility of waste disposal, especially in an area that is likely to produce so much organic waste, given all of the restaurants and food preparation. And then on the matter of the update that we got around services for our homeless individuals, it's great to hear all of that, especially about the daytime center. That's very exciting that that's going to soon be available. And I would love to just hear more in the future about the ongoing activities of that program area. And I'm especially curious for the homelessness outreach team, how many active community volunteers there are, or the average number of volunteers that are out per shift. I'm sure that it's a great program. It makes a big difference of does something exist on paper versus is it really thriving and utilized in real life. So I would just love to hear more about the scale of those activities. Thank you.
Yes. I think that besides the benefit of the council hearing directly from the public on this matter, the architects of the DMR did stay to hear this,
Oh,
as
they're here?
well as Mr. Schneider, the chair of the city center.
I watched them in the back, so which is good. This is part of the ongoing conversation, so this is very good to have that information. And I just want to clear something. The outreach team, remember, there was a grant, so we have people who are working over that part-time. It is 4 part-time and 1 full-time, who is the manager. So I don't think we have volunteers doing that outreach. We are paying with a grant from St. Peter's that they gave to us. That's how the program started, initiated, and that's how we do it. I just wanted to bring that to you. Yes, ma'am.
I have one question for the New Brunswick High School student, because I drive you guys every day.
Ma'am, you need to ask me, and then we cannot talk.
Miss Escobar.
Yes, me first, and then
I would like to ask the New Brunswick High School student, he wants to have, they're having a discussion, and they want to open it up to the public to hear, to let 16 and 17-year-olds vote. But can I ask the question, like, what do you exactly want to get involved in? And you want your voice to be heard. You understand what I'm saying?
So what I would say, Ms. Elliott, right after the meeting, right, we will get the information, because that's a good question, right? How the kids are going to get organized themselves, so that's something that maybe we could talk after the meeting and maybe get involved with. That's when we wish to do so. Okay, thank you. Yes,
Good evening once again, Council. Charlie Bradville. I want to start by saying congratulations to the new member of the council, Mr. Ferguson. You've come a long way since we first met many years ago, and I know we don't always agree on everything, but I'm proud of you and wish you well.
Thank you.
Also want to stand in solidarity and support of the young people here tonight. Robert for his excellent remarks. I think this is a common sense civic engagement measure that you don't have to take it from me. Governor Murphy supports it, and a lot of people around the state support it, including the City Council of Newark, which I believe passed it unanimously. I have requested a meeting with the administration regarding transparency in public meetings. I think you were copied on some of these emails. I never heard back. Can you ask Mr. Barron what the status of my meeting request is?
Mr. Brown, do you have it announced? I don't know.
How many updates, Madam President?
Do we have a timeline, or you put a timeline of when, an idea?
At this time, no.
It was just a simple request. I would ask that, if the answer is going to be no, give me the no. If it's going to be yes, let's set a date and move forward. That request was also, the email you were copied on, partnered with a request for some information on the Vision Zero Partnership Leadership Committee. Mr. Barron pledged to look into that and let me know if the city had a representative on that committee. Never heard back. Did the city have a representative on the Vision Zero Partnership Leadership Committee?
You have that answer?
I don't have any updates, no.
Any idea when I might get an answer?
Do you have?
I will follow up, sure.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to that. For those who don't know, Vision Zero is the concept of striving to have no deaths on our roads, to have no fatal crashes, no serious injury crashes on our road network. And unfortunately, last year, 3 people lost their lives here in New Brunswick. I think it was more than 60 people around Middlesex County. And yeah, we need to do better. We can't have this continue. I also did ask at the last meeting and haven't gotten any follow-up. Why did the police department stop providing incident details in responses to my request made pursuant to Section 3B of the OPRA?
I cannot answer that question, and I know that we have told you in the past, the police department has given you information. We have given you what is required, how they want to report and what is it that we're looking for. If it's OPRA, I don't have any control with that, that's OPRA, that's the police department. Lieutenant Hoover, do you have anything to add to this? This has been told to him many times.
First time this question is directed to me. I'll look into it, as always, no response.
Okay, thank you. I had one about it at the last meeting, but I'll follow up with the lieutenant. Speaking of the police department, I want to draw everyone's attention to the city website where you can see the major discipline report for 2023. You will see Patrolman Alexander Uzunis suspended 60 days for neglect of duty. An internal investigation concluded that he violated departmental rules and regulations pertaining to an officer's performance of duty by failing to give suitable attention to a call for service involving suspicious property. There's some more details in the description, but I wanted to ask the council if you have any comments about this officer. He's apparently still employed by the department despite those violations.
I don't have any comment because I have not seen the report that you're talking about, and I do not know the officer, so I will look into it and I will make it. I don't have. I have done comments in the past when you have brought up something, and again, it seems that he was disciplined, that he was, they looked to it and disciplined, but that's the most that I'm going to say, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I understand. The report was recently shared. It's a legal requirement now, annually, January 31st, I believe it's posted. I have to ask, the fire director, is he still allowed to drive city vehicles?
What is your question, Mr. Besides that, somebody is, there's a
Director
question.
Robert Walls, is he still authorized to drive city
I
vehicles?
see him driving. Does he allow it? Do we have a issue with him driving? I don't think so. I think that he drives his vehicle. I have seen him drive.
It's a personal matter. We know that that's personal matter.
Okay, is it true? Is it
in terms of that I see him. I don't know in terms of what is, if it's personal, I'm not going to go into it. That's something that.
Okay, well, I think you should look into this. Is it true that Director Rawls crashed a city-owned vehicle in North Brunswick on January 9th?
Thank you, Mr. President.
I still have some more questions if I may. Maybe after the meeting?
Thank you.
Okay, am I going to get an answer to the one that I did get off before the buzzer? Can somebody tell me, did you crash a city-owned vehicle?
If it's something that we are able to provide you, I'll get that information. Something that we are able to. So thank you. Anybody else from the public? Seeing that?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Prattville.
Sorry, I have a question.
Oh,
Council.
What was?
So, add on to like what Charlie was saying, so did he crash?
What was that?
Did the fire?
I cannot answer that question.
She's saying,
I'm not able to answer that question at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we had a motion on the floor and a second.
Duly noted. Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin. Yes. Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.